Hi all, my name is Susan and a huge welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be giving you a quick introduction to using one of these, a gelatin plate, to do some basic and very fun monoprinting. So grab a gel plate, grab some paints and let's get started.
Hi everybody and welcome. Now in this video I want to do a really quick introduction to gel printing, jelly printing, just to explain what it is and how we can use it. Now basically it's monoprinting using a gelatin base or a gelatin plate. I teach a lot of monoprinting and when I'm teaching printmaking it's usually the first technique that I introduce people to because it is incredibly accessible, incredibly fun, a little bit messy and great if you're somebody that does love working in layers or does enjoy painting in general. So all of the information within my Learn Monoprinting course or also contained within the Inspire membership. There's a whole section, a bonus on monoprinting. All of that information applies, but I just wanted to show you working on the actual jelly plate. But if you don't have one of these, it absolutely doesn't matter because you can work on anything that has a smooth surface. So if you've done printmaking before, you could use like a glass cutting mat, you can use a plastic board, you can use perspex, glass, anything with a smooth surface that you can put some ink onto, you can do monoprinting onto. The jelly plate is quite handy because it's squishy, so you can print without a lot of pressure. But it absolutely, you don't have to have one of these. These are expensive and you can also make them yourself as well using gelatin. The vegetarian in me slightly quivers at the thought of all this, but never mind. Right, so the basics of monoprinting are that it's a unique print, mono meaning one. So, and with jelly printing, monoprinting, as a printmaker I would always recommend block printing ink. This is a water-based one, dries really quickly, but you do not need that. Jelly printing is also done with acrylic paint, gouache, poster paint, ink, any wet, painty kind of substance you can use, which again is why this is super fun and super accessible. And I quite like mixing things up as well. So let's just go through some simple techniques. First thing you can do is roll out printing ink and roll it onto your plate. I've got a blue and a white here, and the great thing with this is I don't have to be neat and precise. When I'm doing something like a lino cut or something where I want the ink to be lovely and flat, I've got a beautiful, perfectly rolled out piece of ink. Here, I'm just picking up colours. I've got lumps of colours at points. I'm using the edge of the roller. I'm creating lots of different textures. That's what makes this rather fun. Okay, so the basics are you put some ink on, you can then scrape ink off. So one thing you could do is use a sponge to scrape ink off. You can kind of twist it, turn it. Another thing that's quite fun to do is to press stuff into it. So you can press in bubble wrap, for example, and you get a texture. You can use a palette knife to scrape or a finger to scrape. End of a paintbrush to scrape. Anything that you can use to press in, pull away ink or put it on again is exactly what we do to create our monoprinted jelly plate. I always have a couple of baby wipes to hand because I'm an incredibly messy monoprinter. When you've done your work on the jelly plate, you basically pop a piece of paper down, and I'm just using very cheap cartridge paper here. So you can use printer paper, cartridge paper, something smooth. Press it down, doesn't need a lot of pressure. Peel it up and you have your impression. So you can see the different textures created when you press things in, wipe away, scrape, or have little lumps of paint. So it creates a really beautiful effect. A ghost print is quite nice, which is where you go again and just pick up the remainders of stuff. So I just can go back on there and pick up the few little remainders. It also cleans the plate, so you could work into this. Okay. So I wanted to show you a couple of examples that I have done, and I've also recorded a time-lapse video showing me doing this. So here we've got a texture of twisting a sponge. Here we've got a very thin roller rolled side to side, and this is actually layered up. Here I dropped in a little bit of watercolour ink just because it gave a different texture. This looks like sort of water you know, in a bowl or something. It looks like something under a microscope. The textures are rather wonderful. I happen to have a circular jelly plate because I love working in a circular format. That's my personal preference, but these plates come small, big, or you can make it whatever shape, or you can use a paper frame. Lots of textures going on here. I added a little bit of dark blue gouache paint using a paintbrush, so you can use actual painterly strokes. Here I just pressed in a little bit of a block. So this is a block printing block, and I've just dabbed that in the ink, pushed it on. I've got some little circular sponges that I use to pick up ink and press on and to wipe away. So there's a bit of wiping away, a bit of applying back on again. You can see I've got a blue circles theme going on. This one has got different stripes of ink, again using the little thin roller. I think this was also using a printing block stamping in. This, it looks almost kind of like a planet now. Again, using sponges, twisting them to create areas. This was definitely more this block pressed in. And then we've got like a ghost image where there was some watercolour ink. Another ghost image, you can see some bubble wrap pressed in there. You can see the difference in the watercolour ink here. This one was stamped all over here. Watercolour ink mixed in again. And this one was lines of this with the dark and the light paint. And I've kept a limited palette, keep it really simple. I've just used white and blue. You can use all colours. But this is the basics of monoprinting. It is incredibly fun. So if you wanted to have a go at this, please do feel free to have a go. It is very, very fun. I think monoprinting is great for creating backgrounds for which you can then print onto, again at another time, for creating collage papers. Something that's quite fun to do, let me just do a quick demo here, is to sort of print onto something like a gift tag. So let me just do a little bit of rolling up some ink onto here right now. Printing ink has a lovely thick consistency, which is great. It's the perfect consistency for this, but again, poster paint, acrylic paint will all work very nicely, gouache as well. Depends what you're looking to, you know, what you're looking to do basically, what you're looking to achieve. So let me just wipe away a few bits here. Just going very quickly to give you a basic demo. And then I can press my gift tag, which is a nice white one, down onto here to pick up the paint and the ink. And I've got a background here and a gift tag to work with. So again, I could print onto the top of this, I could draw onto the top of this, but it gives me a fabulous background to work on once I've dried. Again, I could pick, let me see if I can pick a blue gift tag here, just to sort of pick up the remainder of the ink. There'll be a slightly lighter bit in the middle, but that does not offend me. There we go. So with this gift tag, I could place something centrally, and then you've got the decoration of this around it. Okay, so that's a really quick summary and demo of a little bit of jelly printing for you. If you want to have a go, it's basically mono printing. And again, if you don't have a jelly plate, you can either make one, or you can use any kind of surface that is plastic, glass that you can roll ink out onto. So have fun if you do choose to have a go at this.